Silverwolf apparently just power creeped Scylla, which is extremely surprising considering that she's a debuffer, but somehow she can do more damage than a single target damage dealer. So I'm not entirely sure if this means there will be power creep in the future, but hey, there's something to take into consideration for now. First things first, coupon codes. If you guys haven't used this already, there are 2 coupon codes released for version 1.1. Make sure you guys use it ASAP. I'll make sure to pin it in the comment section below as well. With that being said, let's talk about Silverwolf overall. Now, if you guys are not aware about Silverwolf, let's clear a very common misconception about how her skill or her ability works, which is a main thing that you want to use her. When you use Silverwolf's skill, which is this particular skill that allows her to apply a weakness to the enemy, she will choose a weakness from your team, alright, depending on who you have on your team. However, she cannot apply weakness to the enemy that your team already has. So for example, this guy, right now you can see he has ice weakness. If I have ice characters, I cannot reapply ice weakness again. So in this case right now, in this particular team, I am a quantum character, Silverwolf herself, right? And then I have 2 physical. Now, there's a common misconception here that some players think that it's going to calculate the number of characters. If you have same amount of characters, you have a higher chance to apply the debuff. For example, in this case, Silverwolf is only 1 and there's 2 physical element character, physical MC and Natasha. So does this mean that there's a 66.6% chance to apply physical debuff to the enemy? No, it's still going to be 50-50 because it will only count the element as 1 element, 2 element. Alright, it's not going to count the number of characters. So keep that in mind. So let me show you guys right here. Boom. So we apply a quantum right there. You can clearly tell. So let's go and check our next one. Let's see if we can get lucky. So sometimes you can get super unlucky. Alright, this can go on for even longer, right? So let's see if I can apply physical because I want to try to apply physical. Okay, still quantum. I didn't beat my 50-50. Let's try again. Because I have a physical damage dealer with me, which is my physical MC, right? So hopefully the 3rd time is the charm, right? So let's go. 3rd time's the charm. Come on, we gotta do this. Physical. Physical. Okay, there. You guys saw that? That's a physical weakness. And hopefully Silverwolf, we're gonna debuff them even further. This can go on forever. If you're super unlucky, I've even lost 50-50 6 times in my testing during the stream earlier today, which can happen to anyone. Alright, it's super RNG. If you don't have a proper team built around her, the RNG can probably like screw you over, causing you to lose matches. Alright, you are literally wasting your skill points if you're not applying the right elemental weakness to the enemy. Now this particular constraint, like especially if you're free to play, Silverwolf might not be the best character to pull right now because there's just not enough characters for you to build a team successfully around, and it's just not flexible enough as well. You sort of have to build a team around her. Now, as you can see, Brightone did recommend some of the best teams that you can run with her right now. So this is called the Fox Mono teams. So basically you run 3 lightning, alright, and then you put a Silverwolf, 3 physical, you put a Silverwolf, 3 ice, and you put a Silverwolf. So this will only work if the enemy is either weak to one of these 2 elements already. So for example, if an enemy is already weak to Silverwolf's quantum weakness, that means when Silverwolf uses her skill on the enemy, she will apply ice element for sure, because you cannot apply an element the enemy is already weak against, right? Same applies for this particular physical one, same applies for the ice one. So this team makes a lot of sense because you have a Bailu right here to help protect your characters, you have Natasha to help heal for physical teams, and Japat to help shield and tank your characters. I personally will not be able to run this team, however, because I do not have Bailu, I don't have Clara, and I don't have Yanqing. And also later on you can run an imaginary team as well, which is going to be very expensive. So this is going to be a little bit difficult for, I think, a lot of players to be able to execute, however. So let's talk about what would be the better candidate that we can have a look at. So right now, if you want to pair Silverwolf with Scylla, that's going to be a very good and obvious choice. However, if you run something like this, alright, you have Scylla, you have Silverwolf, and then you have a physical and you have a fire type. So this is going to be a little bit difficult, right? Now you have 3 elements. Now this team is going to work well if the enemy somehow already has quantum weakness, then your Silver Wolf is just going to be there to reduce the defense and reduce enemies' damage resistance. And I think that can work as well. However, if you have Gepard, I think this team has way more flexibility. Gepard is tanky enough to the point that you can swap things around. So the last slot, you can put Qingque, something like this. This is going to be the closest one that I can think of. Now, to execute this successfully, you would prefer the enemy to already have an ice weakness element. Or you could go something like this: Gepard, Pela, Silver Wolf, and Scylla. Now, the team that I just showcased, for example, is going to be very, very good right here against this particular enemy. Because you can see this boss and this boss, they already have the ice weakness. So therefore, my Silver Wolf will never be able to apply ice weakness. So I will always apply quantum weakness. So ideally, stick with 2 elements preferably, and try to adjust accordingly depending on the enemy. Now let's talk about Silver Wolf's damage potential. Yes, Silver Wolf has the highest single target damage right now for any character out there. Basically, she just power creeps Scylla. However, that only happens at E6. At E0, she doesn't do that much damage, alright? She's just a debuffer right here. You can see comparable with Sampo and also Clara right here, right? But once you go to about Eidolon 2, that's where things starts getting a bit interesting. She's doing as much damage as Jingyuan for single target. Obviously, Jingyuan is still going to do more for 3 targets and above, right? But for single target, damage are very comparable. Definitely more than Hook already. Now if you go to E4, so now she's doing more damage than Jingyuan. And all the way up at E6, we're going to see a significant jump. All the way, you can see she's beating out Scylla in terms of the total damage that she can do, which is incredible. Alright, so Silver Wolf, if you guys are not aware, her E2, E4, and E6 are very, very strong. Alright, E2 basically changes how you build her entirely, because when you enter the battle, she's able to reduce enemies' effect resistance by 20%. That is just straight up such an easy way to build. You can choose not to use body hit rate. You can straight up run crit rate or crit damage depending on what you need, right? If you guys want to know more details about how much hit rate your Silver Wolf ideally needs, I would suggest watching my previous video right here. Alright, next, going up to E4. After using ultimate to attack enemies, deals additional quantum damage equal to 20% of Silver Wolf's attack for every debuff currently on the enemy target. This effect can be triggered for a maximum of 5 times during each use of her ultimate. Now again, you can see very, very strong. But what makes her super strong is the E6. Alright, this has insane ceiling potential. Now again, this is going to be very conditional. However, if the condition aligns, she definitely does a lot of damage, more than Scylla, for every debuff the target enemy has. Okay, so remember, she can apply multiple debuffs herself. The damage dealt by Silver Wolf increases by 20%. So this goes up to 100%. So total of 5 debuffs generally, which is just insane. Alright, 100% damage boost. This is going to double her damage potential. It's just a lot of damage for sure. If you are able to, or if you can afford to, going for E6 doesn't seem that bad of an idea. I do think that she's going to be future-proof. Hopefully they don't power creep her even more. But to see the power creep exists right now already, it's a little bit concerning in my humble opinion, right? So I know this is going to be in the higher echelon of things, in the Eidolon 6 department. Not something that a lot of players need to concern themselves with, because most of us, let's be real, if you guys watching this, most of us normal humans won't be able to E6 her, right? You guys will have a E0, maybe you pull for a light cone. Some of you might have E6, but I think you guys are in the minority. Now if you have E6 Silver Wolf, definitely, you know, based on this knowledge, I do think that she's going to be one of the strongest character in a while. And as more characters releases, I do think she's going to shine even more. Right now, if you are free to play, is it worth pulling for Silver Wolf? I think whatever that I said before still applies. If you don't have Gepard or Bailu, and you really need a second healer, I would highly recommend Loka over Silver Wolf. I do think that that's going to be a better value in terms of the proposition, right? If you really like her design, go for her. But based on my testing against Bronya earlier, I found out that actually using Bronya in most cases seem to give me more damage in return. Now, I am aware that there's a lot of intricacies to this. Just to show you guys a little bit of the damage, you can see right here. For example, for the Memory of Chaos 5, which is where I'm currently at, around 5 to 6, you can see Bronya buffing Scylla does more damage generally. compared to Silverwolf and Scylla. Of course, the debuff applied to the enemy, right? So that's something to keep in mind. This has been consistently a thing. Yes, when you pair Silverwolf and Scylla, Silverwolf does do damage. I did not take that into calculation. However, there's a lot of limitation to building Silverwolf. You need a lot of effect hit rate on her. You're also going to need to build a team around her. Whereas for Bronya, I do think she's going to be way more flexible. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting conversation to have. I'm going to focus that on perhaps the next video. But pretty much, I do think that Silverwolf is strong at E0. I think she has a lot of potential. But I don't think she's a must-have. If you miss out on her for now, it's fine. I do think that for free-to-play players, your priority is to get at least 2 healers, or either try to get Jepat or Bailu, hopefully, to try to secure your team for Memory of Chaos. That's going to be your priority. You can always get her in a rerun later on. Fingers crossed. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, give this video a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think of Silverwolf if you guys vote for her. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a nice day. Goodbye.